Hello, everyone. My name is Yvonne Zdanowski, a member of the National Society of Leadership and Success. My Better Community, Better World project is titled Leadership and Professional Development Seminar for Military Spouses. This project empowers military spouses through education, connection, and leadership growth. My project was created to empower military spouses stationed here, specifically in the Netherlands, but all over Europe and outside the US, to develop their leadership and professional skills. This specific project was held at the US military installation in the Netherlands, and it was created to help spouses that follow the active duty service member around the globe to continue their successful journey and their educational journey and their careers through education, networking, and confidence building. The seminar featured 4 interactive sessions focused on public speaking, giving feedback, mindset, and mental well-being. Those 4 sessions were specifically chosen to hit different tracks and to make sure that all the spouses coming to this event have a session that speaks to them. My goals for this project was to offer diverse leadership and well-being sessions to spouses that want to better themselves and want to gain more skills and knowledge about different topics. It was also meant to build confidence and community connections. A lot of spouses really struggle to find their group. And this project really showed that spouses that showed up want to further their career. They want to connect with other like-minded spouses to work on their career. I've talked to quite a few participants, and I was amazed on how powerful these spouses are and how they are able to, outside of the US, are able to continue their careers by either online careers, remote careers, self-employment, starting their own businesses, and really want to grow and learn. The major milestones were, of course, the planning. So what location is best? It does have to be a professional setting. So it was very important for me that the location that we choose is set up to host a professional development seminar. And we chose the On-Base Community Center, which offers several rooms that are equipped with PowerPoint presentation, projectors, microphones, speakers, and have to offer or have the opportunity to have catering. The speaker selection, I created a jot form application for the speakers that was published, and it was published and communicated on different pages. And of course, since this is a local seminar, there were also people coming to me telling me that some people are in the speaker or are speakers or want to be or want to speak to a certain topic. So I also contacted people directly because I heard from others that those might be a good fit for the project, for the seminar. And then I had speakers applying through the form where I asked questions if they've spoken before, like what are the topics that they want to speak on, what are their experiences in speaking, and what type of content they do want to share with us. So after the selection, it was promoting and registration. So we promoted the seminar on base, online in all the groups that are existing for this US military installation. And registration was also opened through JotForm, where participants could sign up and could pay their small fee for the catering. Since we did have a sponsor, so I was able to get the sponsor, but there was still a small fee that needed to be charged just so we wouldn't have to pay out of pocket. But everyone was really like not minding because for like $15, which was the participation fee, people were able to see these four speakers, get some resources, get breakfast and lunch. The event execution and evaluation. So the day of the event was it was fun. There were some hurdles in the beginning that I kind of had not anticipated happening, because I thought I had communicated my expectations well, but I'll get to that in a later slide. The project followed an 18-week timeline aligned with the design thinking process. My leadership skills that I applied in hosting this project was organization and strategic planning, which is very important when navigating and when planning a bigger event, because there are a lot of like small details that have to be thought about, like parking. How can people have access to this building? Like for us, if we have this on a military base, if we have this on a military base, so only people with base access can come to this seminar. So those are things that we had to think about before that. Also, is catering available? Are there bathrooms available? Is it accessible for everybody? Like all these different things. Communication and collaboration is also very important, especially with the speakers, with the location host, and with the volunteers who signed up to help with this project. Empathy and servant leadership is very important for a volunteer event, because different than in the corporate world, if you leading a team of volunteers, you have to really rely on their motivation to help you and to help you create this event, rather than they kind of like are in the situation where they employed. This is not the case with volunteers. So you really have to keep them motivated, and you really have to hype them up and make them excited about this event. For this event specifically, it was managing the volunteers and adapting when the speaker's content did not align with the audience. This was really where we did, of course, thank the speaker, the audience. We talked later to participants who also kind of noted that the content was not really for them. It is important to not talk badly about anyone involved with this event. This is not professional. We thanked the speaker. He realized that he has to adjust his content, and he even stated that later on. So it's all good. This is really a learning curve, where I also know now for like the next event to really brief the speakers more specifically on those details. So the project analyzes, according to SWOT, Johari, and Kolb, is SWOT, the strength is a strong organization and community engagement. Weaknesses were here, the late volunteer arrivals and one misaligned speaker. So the late volunteer arrivals really is something that I really took away as a learning curve for myself, because it was clear when we have to be there in order to get everything done before the event. And I was even leaning towards meeting the night before and getting everything ready. So no matter how early participant will show up the next morning, they're ready to walk in and everything is set up. And I was overturned by my team saying that we will make it work, we will be there on time, and it really ended up not happening. So I was there first, I was there on time, I was there to greet the participants showing up early, but my team with the decorations and with material that we needed showed up late. So future mentorship programs is definitely something that is an opportunity to talk with others that have hosted events like that and to learn from them. Threats could be scheduling conflicts and resource limits. So scheduling conflicts are always, especially on US military installations, a big topic because there is so many other events happening at the same time. Plus, if you have military spouses as your main audience, you always have to be careful with children, school pickup times, childcare, and other resources, so that spouses really can attend. That's why for the time frame for this event, we really chose 9 till 2, because that's the time when parents then have to leave to pick up their children. According to the Johari vendor, it's revealed blind spots in delegation and volunteer coordination, which we already touched on a little bit. Outcomes and impact: 42 attendees across the 4 sessions. So there was a really, a really overwhelming, and happy moment to see that so many people came out. 95 in an after session or an after seminar feedback reported that they increased their leadership confidence, especially with the session that we had on giving feedback, because a lot of spouses are engaged in volunteer work, in spouses clubs, in thrift shop volunteers, and so forth. So feedback is something that they need to give, and giving feedback to volunteer is definitely a different topic, and a lot of them really took that info. 89% made new professional connections. So a lot of spouses did connect with each other since they're all local, and wrote down their business cards, or exchanged their business cards, and really got to talk and connect and even give new input to spouses. 100% expressed interest in future events. So this is where we are now gathering really the feedback to make it better, to maybe bring it on more frequently, and to hit on the topics that the spouses wants to hear. Personal impact for myself: it did definitely strengthened my leadership, especially when it comes to volunteer leadership, communication, and organizational skills. So now I know that next time I really have to be specific with the volunteer team and with the speakers about who the audience is, how to present the content, and how to engage a professional environment. Lessons and recommendation is improve communication with volunteers and ensure punctuality. I cannot say that enough. That was really something that was a little bit of a make or break in the beginning of the seminar, which we luckily were able to turn around. Better speaker vetting and briefing for audience alignment. This is important, but it is also difficult if you are at a local US installation where speakers are not that many, or available speakers are not that many, plus they did not get a speaking fee. So they did this also as volunteers and coming out and really bringing their time and their motivation to the participants. So of course, we were happy that people were interested in coming out and speaking. What we have to do now is really try to find a professional environment where we can positively tell the speakers that are interested and what we want to hear and what the content is and who the audience is. Start planning early and maintain flexibility. We started planning early so that everything was worked out great. Flexibility, we had to show on the day off because there was a road closure and the first speaker of the day was not able to show up on time. So we had to move speakers around, and luckily the second speaker was already there and able to start the day, which is also can cause some stress for speakers if they're pushed around for last minute change in schedule. But that might be something to also talk about before the event, that the speakers are ready to jump in. So if you really inform them and say, well, there could be the possibility that a speaker will be sick that day off or something will happen, are they able to, speak at a different time? Build strong partnerships with sponsors and installation officials. This is so important, especially being on a US military. So inviting leadership from the military, inviting officials from the military, and inviting your sponsors and offering to hand out sponsor gifts or like to really highlight the sponsors and name the sponsors when opening and closing the ceremony is something that is very important, and you have to honor your sponsors if you want to continue working with them in the future. Leadership begins with service, empathy, and courage. One person's initiative can create lasting positive change in the community. And this is really important because it doesn't matter how big or small your event and your project is, it will create an impact. It will create, a better world. Thank you so much for listening.